Hey guys, it is Arickamisha. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And today's topic, am I spending time with God? It was, I was gonna say it was funny, but it wasn't funny. Have you asked God? Have you asked God? Let me read my notes. We are always running to man for important things in our lives when we need to be asking God for our answers. I didn't always go to God for answers. So, when God told me he wanted me to come talk about this today, I already knew what he was talking about. I already knew, because I had went to God. Now, let me just say this first. I didn't go to God first. And I haven't always gone to God first. Just being honest, I haven't always gone to God first, asking God, what should I do, God? And I haven't always gone to God. I haven't always gone to God first. I'm being honest. I have not always gone to God first. And the other day, instead of me asking God, I asked a friend. I called her up and I asked her, she woman of God too, because we can't be, that's a whole nother video. We can't be going to everybody for advice. We can't be going to everybody for spiritual guidance. You just say that. But anyway, woman of God, living for God. And I called her up, and I was asking her about something. And as I was on the phone with her, God said, why are you asking her? God said, shouldn't you be asking me that? Now, you know what? Come on, y'all. Let's have common sense now. The basic stuff, we ain't got to go God with. What color shirt should I wear with these jeans? Or what color top should I wear? I'm just saying, come on now. Y'all know what I mean. Like, this stuff we supposed to be going to God with. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And it was, spiritual and everything, So I was like, my spiritual sister, go talk to her about it. And, God said, I'm talking, while I was on the phone with her, God said, and you asking her this, why? God said, you asking her, but God said, you haven't even asked me about it. God said, you serious? And, so I got off the phone with her. I was like, let me call you back. And I got off the phone with her, and I began to pray, and I began to talk to God, and I was like, God, you know what, God, you are so right. I was like, God, but you know what? I know why I went to her instead of God. And I'm just being honest. I know why. I went to her instead of going to God. Because you know what? I wanted a right now answer. I wanted an answer right then and there. Because I know if I would have went to God, God probably would have had me wait. He might have had me wait. And I ain't want to wait. I wanted an answer. I wanted an opinion right now. Y'all know how it is. And you know what? I said to God, I know I was wrong. I know I was wrong for going to her. I know I was wrong. I was wrong, God. I said, God, I was wrong. And I know I was wrong for going to her. And I said, God, I'm being honest with you. Just being honest, God. I know why I went to her. I went to her because I knew I could get an answer right away. Versus me going to you, God. You probably would have had me wait weeks, 2 weeks. Ain't no telling how long you would have made me wait. And God said, I know why you went to her. God said, God said, I know you wanted a right now answer. He said, I know. God said, God knows. I don't know why we think we can hide stuff from God and God don't know stuff and we can do stuff before God gonna do it and get before God. And girl, bye. But yeah, so God wanted me to come and talk about that today. God was saying we should be going to him. We should be going to God for answers. We should be going to God for guidance. We should be going to God for things. We shouldn't be going to man with stuff. We need to go to God for stuff. Especially, that serious spiritual stuff. We got to go to God. And you know what? We got to wait on God to give us an answer. And that's what God said to me. God said, you got to come to me. Don't be going to man with stuff. God said, you got to come to me. God said, because I got to guide you and tell you where to go. God said, you can't be asking. God said, what if she told you the wrong thing and I wanted you to go this way and you was going that way? God said, no. God said, you got to come to me for those serious spiritual things. God said, you got to come to me. He said, you got to come to me with it all. You got to come to me. God said, don't go to man. God said, no. God said, you got to come to me for guidance, for discernment, for which way to go and where to go, and obedience, and for God to give you direction. That's what God said to me. God said, you got to go to him. You got to go to God with the right stuff now. We got to go to God. We can't be going to man. And some of us love going to man. Because you know why? Like I said, we go to man because we want a quick right now answer. Because we don't want to go to God because God might tell us to wait. And I know I'm guilty of it. I just told y'all. That's why I went to her. Because I ain't want to wait. So, that's the truth. But God got on me. God said, don't be going, no. God said, what you doing? God said, why you acting like you new to this? God said, you ain't new to this. And I'm telling you, some of us that been living for God forever, some of us that been living God for a long time, why we still doing novice stuff? Why we still doing beginner stuff? What we doing? I'm just sharing, telling my business, praying that it'll help you with your business. Just telling my business. God wanted me to come and talk about it today. God wanted me to come and talk about it today. Stop going to everybody for opinions and advice and spiritual guidance and opinions and all this stuff and where to go and how to get there. No. We got to stop doing that. We got to go to God. Make sure we going to God with what we need to be going to God with. We need to be making sure we going to God with what we need to be going to God with. Stop going to man. Stop depending on man because we want them right now answers, and we don't want to wait on God to give us the answers. Because I sure ain't want to wait. Just saying. It's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. Go to God for guidance. Go to God for direction. If there's anything that you're dealing with, anything you're confused about, anything that you need to know, anything you want to know, go to God. Go to God, honey. Go to God. God is the best answer. God is the best. He gonna give you the best answer, decision, direction, guidance, all of that. God gonna give it to you. But ain't nobody gonna give you better advice than God. Ain't nobody gonna give you better guidance than God. Now God may put people in your life that you can go to. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, don't go too deep. Now, there may be people, because that God wants you to go to. But y'all know what I mean. If it's something that you need to go to God about. You know. So, that's what God was saying to me. Girl. God was like, what you doing, girl? What you doing? So, all right. Make sure we're going to God for guidance. Making sure we're going to God for what we need to be going to God for and not man. Make sure we're depending on God for answers. Waiting on God to give us those answers. Waiting. Praying and waiting patiently for the answer. Because sometimes God may give you an answer right then. But sometimes God going to have you wait. You just got to deal with it. It's what God wanted me to come and talk about today. Have you asked God? Have you? All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.